We was playing arts and science, but word on the street was, Brandon gonna come out in some new uniforms, the Georgetown uniforms. Coach I just got out some brand new uniforms. And the Jordans came out. So it was almost like a fashion show that night, man. Some of the things I've seen Ryan do, even put her in workouts with some high school guys that's older than her. I've seen her in there like really stir fry some dudes, man. And people used to call us the And One Twins, not just because of basketball moves, because we used to rock that gear all the time.
Welcome back to the Hoop Truck Podcast. I am your host, Alex Wells, and today's guest is the founder of CKC Elite Basketball Training and a licensed USA basketball coach. He has an impressive track record when it comes to training basketball players, working with 9 McDonald's All-Americans, 5 Jordan Brand All-Americans, 10 Mr. and Miss Basketball finalists, with 6 of those being winners, a 3-time USA gold medalist, a WNBA champion, and an NBA champion. Welcome to the podcast, Christoffer Collins. What's up, my dude?
What's going on, my guy?
AKA Twin.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
AKA biceps real big. All right, Twin, when did you start basketball training and what made you get into it?
Well, what made me get into basketball training was, my twin brother and I used to train. We used to train ourselves while we was playing college ball and, had the potential to go overseas and play professional ball. So we used to train up at a recreational center called Eastdale Rec. And while we was up there training ourselves, kids used to stop in. Kids used to stop in and want to hoop with us, want to play basketball, or after our workout was over with, they used to ask us, hey, can we jump in on your workouts? And I'm like, man, next time we come back up here, yeah, y'all can jump in and join some workouts. One of the notable players out of there was, I remember Duke, Kentrell Evans out of Brainerd. Kentrell Evans, shout out to him, one of the best point guards to come out of, Brainerd High School. But, it was pretty much high school athletes in the area wanted to join in on workouts. So we found the passion, not just in training ourselves, but started training, other athletes in the area, kind of trying to help them, grow their games and get better, because we knew there was something they love to do. It was something that we also love to do as well. So it kind of went from us training ourselves to training, people in the community, and we just kind of took off from there. And the biggest thing, what made everything take off, was the results that these high school players and collegiate players was getting just from, working out and training with us.
And when y'all started training, where were y'all getting y'all's, like the drills and the stuff that y'all were doing when y'all were training each other or yourself?
Man, me and my brother used to make up drills, man, watching film. It was like some type of copy and paste model of what our dad used to do with us when we were smaller. Some of our former coaches, when we used to travel back and forth from Chattanooga to Florida, we had an uncle who was a big AAU coach, Tony Bannister. So we spent summers in Florida and just going to camps and workouts, with my cousin TJ Bannister. Again, our uncle, Tony Bannister, used to be a basketball coach, used to be a basketball trainer. So it was like some type of copy and paste model of what he used to do for us, growing up. And we felt like, well, we'll pretty much do the same thing, man, and just kind of emulate that and continue to build off of that. But also we just knew as we grew as trainers that it was more, the basketball than just mimicking or copy and paste model of, former, coaches or my parents, what they did growing up. Because the game is evolving. So we got to keep up with the game of basketball, studying film. And I tell a lot of trainers this stuff too, man. Somebody actually asked me this question, what makes a good basketball trainer? And what makes a good basketball trainer, and I see this all over the world, with coaches or trainers who bring kids into the gym and they just bring them in pretty much just to do a workout. I can bring anybody in the gym for a workout. We're actually doing player development, actually training, actually teaching and educating the game of basketball. So what makes a good trainer? Again, like I told you before, just studying film, studying your players. That's what I learned over time, becoming a basketball trainer, as opposed to just bringing kids into the gym and just giving them some type of copy and paste model of what we used to do growing up. It's way more than that, man, when it comes to development, because you got to get to learn your players, identifying who they are first, understanding what their strengths and weaknesses are, and pretty much just customizing a workout based on their needs. So what makes a good basketball trainer is just pretty much simple. finding solutions to a problem, pretty much. So whatever the problem may be that a player may have, that's the type of stuff that you bring it back into the lab. The strengths and the weakness part, that's the stuff that you bring back into the lab, and so you can help your players get better. Also, just kind of studying their film. Again, you got to identify who they are before you actually get them in. So nowadays, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but nowadays, again, before I get any player that I've never coached or trained before I get them in for a workout, I'm studying film on them. I'm getting to know them before they actually come in. And again, that's what helps me understand my players so I can, create and customize the best possible workout for them for their development.
So you got it down to more of a science rather than just like you do all the same players do the same drill. Like we're all doing right-hand layups or, tween right-hand layups. Everybody's got something different past just like the basics of stuff that you've learned from film, what they need to work on and develop.
Most definitely.
What level they're at and all that.
When it comes to youth basketball, that's pretty much what I'm focusing on. Focusing on non-dominant hand development. What if it's dribbling with the non-dominant hand, finishing with the non-dominant hand, passing with the non-dominant hand, teaching them how to play out a triple threat, teaching them how to play off 2 feet when they're attacking the basket. So some of the simple stuff, basic fundamentals. Yeah. And again, once they master those basic fundamentals, then we can start adding different aspects, to accelerate their basketball games.
Yeah. So when you're training advanced players, that's where the science comes in, and you're doing your homework to make sure you know what they need to work on. You're not just getting them out there doing some shit that they don't really need to work on.
No. Look, I practice on the stuff with them that's most often, that they're going to be able to use most often in games. Again, just studying your players, understanding who they are, identifying who they are. So I'm not going to bring a player in a workout and have him working on ball handling for a whole hour, and I know he's not going to have the ball in his hand 80%, 90% of the time in the game. I'm focusing on the stuff that they need, stuff that, it's like a SWOT analysis. Again, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I do a whole SWOT analysis before a player come in. Again, watching film on them, understanding what their strengths and weaknesses. So I'm maximizing their strengths, but I'm also improving, their weaknesses. So whatever their weakness was at the end of last season, I'm making sure that I'm developing them to the point to when next season comes, they don't have the same weakness. That's what development is to me. That's how most players are able to, progress. And then when it comes to like your elite level players, oh man, I need to work on my shot on that.
The wind's blowing.
When it comes to your elite level players, again, it's always room for growth and improvement. I don't care if I'm training an NBA player or a WNBA player. Everybody still needs work. It's always room for growth and improvement. So it's all about what can I do as a trainer to continue to help them accelerate their game. So again, that's where the film comes in. That's my cheat code, is just watching film on them, looking at their stats or communicating with their coaches, because I know the coaches see them day in, day out, with games, practices. So the coaches are also, a vital part in what I do is the communication part on, the player development. Like what does your player need to work on? This is what I want him to be good at doing next year. You know what I'm saying? How can I help the player that I'm working with, your player? How can I help them help your team win basketball games? You know what I mean? So whatever the coaches tell me, whatever I see on film, again, that's what I'm bringing in for a workout, with players when they come in. So again, to continue to help them accelerate their game and just develop them over time.
Some of my favorite clips that you post on your Instagram are when you're teaching them a move, and then they do that move in the game.
Oh yeah.
And then you cut to they're doing the move in the game. Then you cut back to the finish
workout
of the move, and then to the workout, because then it just shows like what you're actually working on is like they're actually using that stuff in the game.
Oh, most definitely.
Man, those clips right there. Every time you post one, I'm like, I watch them like 10 times. Just watch every little bit, because it's like literally all the movements, the steps, the dribbling, everything is like the exact same.
Yep. And before I tell you why I started running those down. I'll tell you the reason or what influenced or motivated me to do that. It was when I first started training. Me and my twin brother, we first started training, and a gentleman came to me, not calling the names. A gentleman came up to me and was like, hey, twin, I love what you and your brother do. I love what y'all got going on, man. Y'all training all the kids in the area, whoop the woo. And he was like, but I did talk to somebody, and they was like, man, ain't no sense of these players or coaches or parents sending their kid to twin or wasting their money paying for training with twin, and them kids will never use that stuff in the game that they're working on. I was like, he said, what now? Hey, no, seriously, man, true story. I was like, oh man, so that's what motivated me, to like record my workouts. And I don't just record workouts just for, social media purposes. I also record my workouts so I can give it back to my players so they can study their footwork or whatever it is that we're working on. I send it to them because film can be your biggest teacher. So, but I was also trying to prove a point. You know, in doing those videos. So, and the players or their parents, they couldn't wait to send me like a game footage of them actually executing the move that we spent 30 hours or 30 minutes to an hour on. Like, hey, he finally did that move that he was struggling with, the move that y'all ripped out over and over and over and over again. And most of these kids, I know they want to come into workouts and they want the razzle dazzle and stuff. Hey, man, I'm more substance over flash any day. So the stuff that they feel like is elementary, I don't feel like it's elementary, because the elementary stuff can be very impactful. Playing off 2 feet, learning how to finish with your left hand, catch and shoot, stepping into your shot, footwork with that stuff, man. And I tell these kids rarely, you know, basketball ain't always about learning moves. It's about learning the game and, you know, growing as a player. So, again, that motivated me to put those, I call them in-game skills, in-game results posts. And pretty much behind it, I'm making things translate with most of my players. Again, how am I able to do that? Just studying my players, identifying who they are, and just putting them in those type of situations. After we work on those skills, I also put them in a situation where they have to utilize those skills, because it's kind of hard to see if a move is going to work one on none or against a passive defender. So I'm more bones versus cones in the day. So I'll throw my body in there and I'll take away their freedom. When I take away their freedom, so they pretty much have to use the skill or the move that we work on. And again, it's a sparring session. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. So I created an environment for them where they can make mistakes. But at the end, it's all about making those adjustments to those mistakes. So they're actually learning. They're learning through trial and error in a workout before they actually make that error in a basketball game. So that's why most of my players feel comfortable, you know, to perform or execute the move that we worked on for hours and weeks on in the game, because I put them in a live situation, you know, in workouts.
Yeah.
And they fail numerous of times in it, you know, so they feel comfortable performing in the game after they make those adjustments in practice.
Yeah, and then it just becomes second nature because y'all done worked on it so many times.
Second nature, yes, sir.
But from a business standpoint, using those clips, it helps with social proof, because it's like what you are doing training-wise, people are actually using it in a game. So if somebody was looking like, oh, I want to see if I want to hire him, they can go through and see 100 of those clips like, oh, okay, so the stuff they're actually doing, you got WNBA players using that same move that y'all went over, you know, in a game. So then they ain't got to question whether or not what you're doing is working or not. It's like a Google review.
Most definitely, man. It's like that's like my resume builder, you know, just the proof is in the pudding, man. And I think that has helped me grow, you know, my business as a basketball coach, as a basketball trainer, as a basketball player development coach. Other, you know, the clips that I put up, again, just seeing the proof being, you know, the proof in the pudding, pretty much, man. And again, when they see things like that, now they're able to trust me with their players, because it's like, hey, he knows what he's doing, man. He's actually making things translate over for his players or our players too inside of, you know, real basketball games. So most coaches, most parents, most players, especially the professional players, hey, bro, I want to come train with you. You know, I've been with this trainer for so long, man. You're very detailed. You know how to customize your workouts, man, and I communicate with them, and I also pick their brains too. You know, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So every player is different, man. One workout that I may give one player may not be the same workout that I give another player, because all players learn differently. You know, this player has a different role from this player, so I'm not gonna have the same exact workout. I mean, some of the workouts may be a little similar when it comes to like playing off 2 feet, some of the basic fundamental stuff, but overall player development, man, just, you know, it's pretty much a thing in its own, man. You know, different strokes for different folks. Again, identifying who the player is, man. It's the simplest way I can put it, and that's how you customize your workout so you can continue to help accelerate or even develop a player's game.
So I recently just did a podcast episode with Jordan Rawls and Junior Clay.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you've been training them. I know Rawls, you've been training, he said, since he was about 12 or 13.
and Junior too.
Yeah. How's it been like working with them as they get ready to, you know, Junior Clay coming off the injury, about to go back overseas, then Rawls headed over for his first year.
Oh, man, shout out to those guys and all the hard work that they've put in, man. We actually had a conversation at yesterday's workout about, you know, if you want results, the work comes first if you want results. So those guys over the last decade have put in, you know, they put in some tremendous amount of work, man. And I mean, they pretty much deserve to have the opportunities that's being put in front of them right now because of their work ethic, man, pretty much. And I've been grateful and blessed to be able to train such some high caliber guards like, you know, Jordan and Junior. Two probably one of the most underrated point guards that come out of, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And
So
that's
shout out
one
to them
thing.
dudes.
That's one thing we talked about with Junior Clay. He was talking about always being the underdog coming
Yeah.
out of McCallie. What he did there, all the points he scored and all that, and then being
Man, you think about
highly under recruited.
Yes, and you think about Junior Clay when he played against Darius Garland, and him and Darius Garland going back and forth, man.
Well,
I
then when
remember
they beat Hamilton Heights when they had
man,
Shea them.
beat Hamilton when they had Shea. So that's what I mean by one of the most underrated, point guards. That's why I'm so happy and I'm so proud that he's getting some of the recognition that he's getting right now, man, to get overseas and play professional basketball. So not too many people will sleep on him anymore, man.
Yeah.
And they won't be too sleep on Mr. Rawls either.
Nah, he's ready, man.
Oh yeah.
he had a clip. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram where he was talking about cooking Bronny if they was playing one-on-one for Bronny.
Hey,
for Bronny's contract.
Man, Jordan has so much confidence in himself, man, which is not a bad thing at all. Some people may think it's cocky, but it's confidence because he puts in work.
Yeah.
And I put my money up against it. I put my money on Rawls with Bronny in a one-on-one situation, a one-on-one game, man. And it'll be close, but I don't think Bronny may walk in thinking like, who is this dude, man? Like, all right, Jordan will make his presence known, against a guy like, Bronny. Nothing against Bronny, man. Bronny's a solid basketball player. Nothing against him, man. But I'm telling you, man, Jordan Rawls, one of the most underrated guards, not just in the state of Tennessee, but in the country.
Yeah. He had going through what we were talking about with his stats and stuff and playing time in college, man. He should have had some better stats and stuff because he wasn't really giving the keys to none of the teams.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
But, he said that was kind of one of his regrets when he transferred from Western Kentucky to Georgia State and then back. It kind of messed him up. But, he said he's living and learning. But, yeah, I'm excited for him, man, and Junior getting back from the injury.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna do some big things overseas this year.
Crazy story is, man, it's like everything went into a full circle because, man, my twin brother and I both used to train Junior's sister, Shadara Clay. Beast in high school.
Hey,
man.
Junior said, he was like, you think I'm good? She was way better than me.
No, Shadara. Shout out to Shadara Clay.
GPS.
I think she was a two-time Miss Basketball winner. So before we actually started training Junior, we was training Shadara at first, man. So, yeah, man, the family gene runs. It runs in the family, man. And, he's always had that basketball foundation. Dad played basketball. Shout out to Pops, man. Thanks, Pop. I appreciate y'all for, trusting my twin brother now with the development of Junior and both, Shadara Clays. And I don't take all the credit. We don't take all the credit. It's just the work that they've put in. So,
yeah.
Shout out to you all.
So let's get into women's basketball, man, because I know you've trained a lot of WNBA players and high-level D1 college players. What do you think the future of women's basketball is?
The future of women's basketball, let me tell you this. I've always been an advocate for women's basketball. I've always think women could compete with the men, seriously. And a notable name, Ryan Howard, for instance. I used to have Ryan, I had Ryan since middle school, and some of the things I've seen Ryan do, even put her in workouts with some high school guys that's older than her, I've seen her in there like really stir fry some dudes, man. But hey, you got some dudes, man, out here that'll think just because they're women, they can't stand, with them. But no, I'm an advocate for women's basketball, man, hands down, man. And what they're doing with the game now, how the game has grown, particularly because of, I know you got your Angel Reeses and you got your Caitlin Clarks that's putting more attention on the game, on the women's game. But these women been hooping like that, though, man. They been had the Ryan Howards and Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Swoops. I can go all the way back in the day when my god sister, Venus Lacey, played back in the day, man. So, you guys, man, women's basketball has always been, something to, look to or look up to. But I think a lot of people just lowball, the women's game. But I've never, I have 4 daughters, I have 4 girls, and they all play basketball. They highly into sports too. So, man, the women's game has definitely grown over time. It's definitely evolved. But, the entertainment for the women's game ain't just started with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. These women been hooping. So shout out to these women, man. Continue to grow. And I actually think some women basketball players can actually play in the NBA. Hands down, man. I don't want guys to be feeling or thinking, hey man, it's a ego or pride thing. Nah, I seen some women get in the gym with some of my guys and just give them straight buckets, give them work, you know. And I have some young ones right now that'll do the same thing to them. So, hey man, I salute the women's game, man. Hey, y'all continue to work hard, man, and you know, continue to be a light on the community, continue to be a light on the women's game, just continue to help this thing grow and develop. Because I've watched more women's games over the last 2 years than I've watched, you know, some men's basketball games. So that's a huge testament, you know, for the hard work that they've put in, not just this year or last year, but over time. So I'm glad that they're getting, you know,
the
notoriety that they're getting
WNBA's
right
got to figure it out, man. Like, I feel like they've just done a poor job of marketing it because, like, up until, like you said, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, like, the numbers have just climbed. But there's been hoopers like that. They've been like that. So it's weird, but I think they're definitely trending in the right direction to where, as there's more eyes on it, which equals money, which makes them be able to get them better contracts, because them contracts are terrible right now. And then with more endorsement deals, more shoe deals, like why are we just now seeing them get their signature shoe? The Sabrina 1 just came out with the Sabrina 2.
And the Caitlin Clarks are fire too. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I saw. Yep. But they should have been doing that.
Man,
they should have been doing that a long time ago.
They should have been had that stuff.
Because what about like all these girls? They want to be able to hoop in a women's shoe that you know a WNBA player plays in.
Even like I said, when Candace Parker and all them played back, again.
She was like that.
I'm grateful. I'm glad that they're, you know, getting the opportunities that they're getting right now. But
long overdue.
Yeah, these women been hooping. They've been hooping, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. Yeah, I think it's definitely headed in the right direction. Especially with all the stars coming in now.
Yeah.
With you know, like you said, your Caitlin Clarks and your Angel Reese, but like you even said, they've been like that.
Oh yeah.
But it just ain't for whatever reason.
Yeah, man,
the media just ain't really been pushing.
And I think they're starting to get a lot more respect from the men hoopers too.
Yeah.
You know, not even just to be nice or show some type of humility, but they actually getting some respect from the men. You know, like not just the basketball players, men all over the world, man. As far as who run the marketing stuff and who feel like, you know, women shouldn't be the face of this or women shouldn't be the face of that because they're not going to bring in much money. But now actually you got men or marketing people out there reaching out to, you know, some women first before they actually reach out to the men. And again, that just shows you how much the game, you know, has grown, and it shows you, you know, the attention that they very well deserved that they're finally getting, man. And again, man, salutes. Shout out to all the women basketball hoopers, even the young ones that's coming up.
So some of the notable names that women that you've trained, get into some of the girls that you've trained or I guess now women that are, what is it like training with them, and do you approach it any differently than when you're training boys or men?
The approach isn't any different, man. I just know they're coming in to work out with me for a focus of getting better, you know. So again, just strategically planning their player development structure, man, identifying who they are as well. I think more with the women, what I do more with them is more like conditioning. I do that with my men too, but I focus on a lot of conditioning, you know, with the with the women. So, which I do with all my basketball players, the men too, but women I focus mostly on like the conditioning aspect of it because they become tired so quick, man. And the thing is, I want them to be able to continue to perform their skills, the skills that they know how to do at a high level when they get tired. It's when they get tired, that's when you start to see, I mean, not even just with women, the men, the guys too, but I see it more common, you know, with women, they just kind of shut down or they're not as effective as they would be if they had great stamina. So really focusing on conditioning with them, focusing on a lot of shooting. Again, going back to my player development structure, identifying who they are, studying their strengths, their weaknesses, making goals for them, setting a goal for them, then making a plan, putting together customizing the workout based on their needs as well. So, you know, I don't do it any differently with the women than I do, you know, with the men either, man. The biggest focus is just to continue to develop their game and to continue to accelerate their game so they can pretty much do what they love to do as well. And that's to go out there and hoop, play basketball, and do it at a high level. Shout out to some notable women who I worked with, who's growing and accelerating their games, doing their thing in the basketball world. Of course, Ryan Howard. Shout out Madison Hayes, Treasure Hunt, Amber Hunt, Jasmine Massagill, Elizabeth Bolagon, Balagoon. Who else we got, man? Some ones I recently just started with. You know, you got this dude crazy. Hey, some new names I pretty much picked up. You know, you got your Cheyenne Parker with the Atlanta Dream, Nas Hillman, Ariel Powers. This dude over here, man. Ariel Powers. You got some up and coming ones. You got Kamora Moore, Momo Buckets. You got Aubrey Bush coming around, little Scotty. I mean, I can go on for days. My daughter, Christoffer Collins, you know, she's a hooper. My nieces, Christina Collins, Kristen Collins. Golly, man.
Would it be okay to say that Chattanooga's been producing more high-level women's players than it has men's?
Well, look, that's another conversation. I never forget when I used to go to LA all the time. And that was back in like 2016, 2017 when I was a Pure Sweat skills coach with Drew Hanlon. And they used to tease me a little bit about, man, I see you done develop all those women athletes in Chattanooga. What about the guys? What about the men? Hey, get that motherfucker out of here. So it was more, what about the men? How many guys you have? How many McDonald's All-America? How many 3 and 4, 5-star men basketball players do y'all have back in Chattanooga? You know, I was thinking like, damn, you know what? I said, man, you right. So yeah, they used to tease me a lot up in LA. They used to tease me a lot in LA about, you know, and pretty much saluting me for the amount of women that I've been able to have my hands on and been able to develop and produce out of Chattanooga. But they were also asking, like, what about the guys, man? We haven't heard too much, you know, of any major Chattanooga basketball players on the boys' realm, which brings me to another story about this school and this program, man. I'll get into that whenever you want to get into it. But yeah, the women's hoopers have always been produced, you know, here out of Chattanooga, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was an award or what, but I really do feel like, you know, at the time, their work ethic was a lot stronger than some of the male athletes, you know, to be honest. So, and I know I'm forgetting a few names out of this thing too. Oh, Camilla Cardosa. You know, shout out to Camilla Cardosa. You know, she's playing with the Chicago Sky right now, man. You know, she was at Syracuse University, you know, transferring over to, you know, South Carolina. And playing up on the legendary coach Don Staley. So that's another one. Camilla Cardosa, had the opportunity and privilege to work with her. Man, charge it to my mind and not my heart right now, man, to think about these notable women basketball
You got a lot
players.
of them, bro.
Yes, yeah, it's a ton of them, man.
A lot.
It's a ton of them. I called off Madison Treasure. Oh, Reagan Conley. I can't forget about Reagan. Reagan Conley, my bad, Reagan. Reagan's at Wake Forest University right now. Terrific shooter. Reagan played out at Baylor High School. Going on to have a solid career at Wake Forest, entering her 3rd year. So shout out to, you know, Reagan Conley.
Well, for them dudes out in LA that was teasing you about where's the heavy hitters from the men's side,
yes.
What they gonna say when Buddy gets drafted 1 or 2?
Hey, look. Hey, the thing was, I had to think about this too when they was teasing me about no heavy hitters coming. I said, you know what, man? The thing I love the most about being a basketball trainer is the development side of it. I don't care what age, man. Like I love to start them from scratch. I love to start them when they're young. So when I thought about it back in 2016, I was like, all right, let me see what I can do as a trainer. You know what I mean? I take pride and I take a lot of passion in what I do and helping, you know, accelerate and grow and develop games. So, man, 2016 started, and I was like, I'm gonna start with a core group of guys in this area, you know, kind of build up the mentality or just kind of develop a culture where, you know, hard work should be number one, you know, if you want results first. If you want to get here, guess what comes first? You got to put the work in. So shout out to a group of young men, the class of 25, class of 2024, class of 23. I think that's where it started hitting from, the class of 23. So when the class of 2023 all the way up to maybe the class of 30 right now in Chattanooga. Again, you got notable names like my guy Ace Bailey, Jamaica Davis. Man, we got some hitters, you know, coming out of Chattanooga, and I think that's, you know, from a development side, it kind of started, you know, from scratch pretty much, man. It's kind of putting that piece into them, like, hey, look, man, y'all got to put the work in if you want to get here. You know, people pretty much say Chattanooga boys basketball hadn't, you know, been so hadn't had too much success. We haven't had any, like we call it, haven't had any heavy hitters. Even when you think about when the last time Chattanooga boys basketball won a state championship, that was 2003, Tennessee Temple. Tennessee Temple. That was the last boys state championship that came out of Chattanooga. It was Tennessee Temple in 2003.
21 years ago.
So again, my mission, my vision was, especially when I got over here, not just helping young men develop off the court, but also we got to bring a state championship back here to Chattanooga soon, man. So that was my vision when I pretty much became the founding basketball coach over here at Chattanooga. So now I go to LA, or some of the guys that used to tease me, like, hey man, we see what you're doing, we see what you got going on down there, man. It's very mind blowing, but it's humbling at the same time to see, not just on my end, man. It takes a village, it's a community. I brought my twin brother along with me to also kind of help develop, elite level talent, man. Shout out to Greg Moore, who's also been developing basketball players in the area. You got a host of coaches and, trainers that take pride in what they do, not just on the girls' side, but also on the boys' side. But, man, shout out, man. It took a community. It took a village, to get Chattanooga boys basketball back to where it is right now, man, currently. So, shout out to all the coaches. Shout out to all the trainers that put in the purposeful work, behind our young men to have a successful city. Now our city's on the map now.
Yeah. Get into your first year over here at Chatt Prep, and that's actually where we're recording this right now, the backside of the gym.
Yes.
Where it all started for you as far as your coaching career.
So it all started, my coaching career pretty much started over at Dealwood Middle School. Yeah, it started at Dealwood. I was at Dealwood, 3 years before I made the transition to come over here and be the founding coach of Chattanooga Prep. But yeah, everything started from scratch, man. I think anything that you do in life, you got to start from scratch. And I was comfortable at Dealwood, man. And knowing myself, I love challenges, man. Challenges make you better. And I had rebuilt the Dealwood basketball program, man. That's a school I, went to, and we was a powerhouse. So I pretty much rebuilt the program over at Dealwood. Then I turned it over to Cedric Dozier. That's when, Ace came over and Boo Carter and the rest of them. So they started building a big dynasty over at Dealwood. So when I first got there, I know when I was growing up, Dealwood used to be the most feared middle school. Dealwood and Alton Park, we used to be the most feared middle school basketball team to play against, man. And I wanted to have that. I wanted to bring that back to Dealwood when I got there, man. But again, everything started from scratch. Had to grow and develop that program. Again, I got comfortable over at Dealwood, and I was approached by two guys who were starting up Chattanooga Prep. Ted Allen and at the time Principal Tim Garris. And I was a little skeptical at first about a startup school because you don't know what a startup. You don't know how the startup school is going to be. You don't know if it's going to tank that first year. You only know it's going to tank in the middle of the year. So I was very skeptical about it, man. But they was persistent, man. They was in my inbox almost every day to the point I almost felt like I wanted to block these guys. Like, man, get out my inbox. Like, seriously, like, hey, man, we can see you right now. Coach Collins starts up all boy charter school when they win the very first. I had the same vision. But I was like, dude, chill, bro. Like, give me some time to let me deliberate over this with my family or whatnot, man. Like, the kids were comfortable with me at Dealwood again, man. I was comfortable myself, but, a comfort level is a beautiful place, but nothing really grows there. So again, I like challenges. If you want to get better at something, challenges make you better. So I wanted to challenge us, try to see or test out my developing capabilities by starting up a charter school, an all-boy charter school. And I pretty much knew I was going to have, some of the kids who I've been developing, going back to my LA guys used to tease me. I knew I was going to be able to have some of those kids, some of those young men who I've been training or developing since they was 3rd or 4th grade. Parents will have the dream of me not just training them, but also be their coach. So, we're all boys school, public charter school, so we're open enrollment, to anybody within Hamilton County. But at the end of the day, people can say recruit this, recruit that. Man, parents at the end of the day got a choice of where they want to send their school, what school they want to send their kid to at the end of the day. A parent has a choice of where they want to send their kid. And the program started selling itself after that first year. Man, of course, the first year we just had 6th grade, and I played them up. I played them up under an 8 ball. So yeah, we were getting the snot beat out of us.
But that prepared y'all.
Yeah, it did. It prepared us, man. It prepared us for the long run, man. They trusted me. They trusted the process. By the 2nd year, I think we only had 6th and 7th graders, and we were undefeated, like 9 or 10-0, going into a game against Dealwood. Dealwood got Ace. Dealwood was loaded. They had Ace and several other guys, man, that I had kind of left behind. And I'm like, man, we're going into a game against of 2 undefeated teams. We the young guns. We're pretty much looked upon as the up and coming, middle school program versus the dynasty that had been rebuilt. And you got to go against a future first round #1 draft pick in Ace, which he's a monster back in middle school too. So crazy thing about it, man, when you're successful, when you run a successful program, here come your critics or here come your haters. That comes with the territory. So with that being said, I had someone call TSSAA about quote unquote some ineligible players that I had. I'm like, who in the world is ineligible? We're a startup school. Like
in middle school. Who's
in middle school? We talking about an adult called and snitched on some 11 and 12-year-olds, man. Hey, as long as I've been a coach, I ain't care what kid went to what school, man. I'm like, man, they kids at the end of the day. They want to play basketball, let them play basketball. But I was just disappointed in whatever adult called the state. So now these kids thinking they going into the biggest game of their middle school careers. And for me to sit them down and tell them, look, y'all got to sit this one out. Y'all got to play junior varsity basketball. You can't play a varsity. Technically, we were a JV team because we didn't have any 8th graders. So I allowed 6th and 7th graders to play up at the varsity level. So me having to tell these kids, man, you can't play today. They investigating 3 particular young men, so they had to sit out, man. Make a long story short about that game, man. We went over to the game against Deadwood, got the snot beat out of us, which was expected with the group of guys I had, but they competed for the most part, man. Deadwood ended up beating us by 25-30, which was again expected when you got guys like Ace Bailey and Abu Carter playing with them, man. It was a great experience for those young men. Like, well, I don't believe in losses. You either win or you learn. So every game, even 6th grade, 7th grade, every game that we play, we learn from. Every game we quote unquote lost, we learn from as well. So some of the stuff that some of our struggles we took back here, which we call the lab, we working on that. So I never forget, man, Cedric Dozier was the middle school coach over at the time, and he continued to put a press on us the entire game. Most coaches would be, hey, chill out, coach. I'm not one of those coaches, man. I was looking for all the smoke. We outside with it, man. Keep pressing these dudes, man. We're going to learn how to handle pressure. That's what I'm doing. We're learning from this. And again, I think that me having that type of mentality, put that same mentality into my young men too. And they didn't want to get their ass beat like that no more, man. Excuse my French, but they was coming to the gym, committed. Coach, you're going to be in the gym today. Again, I don't micromanage none of my players, man. If they want to get in the gym, I tell them all the time, the doors of the church are always open. So, more than willing to come up here. And those guys were dedicated over years, over time. Give it time. We may not be elite right now, but over time, as we continue to work and work hard on our aspects, like different aspects of our game, our mission and our vision, it will be complete one day. Just stick with it. Let's fast forward all the way to now. Recruiting. Now, I hear a lot of critics talking about, they cheating over that, cheat prep, cheat that. Like, look, man, if hard work, dedication, belief, and being disciplined is cheating, I say we cheating all day. Because I'm telling you now, none one of my kids were recruited. I don't have any kids that recruit. Matter of fact, I had no kids that was recruited, put it that way. All my kids that we won the state championship with pretty much started from 6th grade all the way to now. And no one knew about them kids, man. Like I said, we were getting a snot beat out of us our 6th and 7th grade year. Nobody knew about Joel Bullis, or I call him Bobo. Nobody knew about him. Nobody knew about Eli Gaines. Nobody knew about Tosh Wade Williams. Nobody really knew about Derek Robertson, DJ. Nobody knew about none of these kids until you start winning basketball games, man. And like my forefather say, man, you'll likely have no success if you have no critics. So that's what came with the territory, man. I had to get those guys prepared for that. And again, man, it's just the development over time. And our mission, our vision, was complete, because of all the work that we've put in, man. So, shout out to those young men for trusting not just in me, but also trusting in my twin brother as well to continue to, carry on and accelerate the basketball program. And we got Chattanooga State Basketball Championship, the first one in 17 years, which is very mind-blowing, man. Very mind-blowing. But,
and y'all had no seniors on that team,
no
right?
No seniors.
So everybody's coming back.
Man, everybody's coming back, man. No seniors. So next year we'll actually have the first
senior class.
Yep, actually had the first senior class, 2025. So I'm going to my guys. They used to the LA guys, the 2025 class. So this will be our first graduating class, man. You know, for
Dang.
Chatt Prep.
So all the way from 6th grade to
all
now.
the way
That's
from
crazy.
6th grade
Where
to now, man.
where it started to where it's at now as far as the program. Because my son's coming over here, so and that ain't on on no accident.
Bring him on.
You want to win, you know where to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, like I said, man, the whole recruiting thing, man. Look, we're not a private school. We don't have the luxury of recruiting, any kids. But I think people know like how much of a hard worker I am, how much of a hard worker my brother is, how much passion, how genuine we are about helping individuals get better, not just on the court but off the court as well. That's what attracts a lot of individuals. That's what attracts a lot of parents, and parents want to bring their kids over here to be up under this type of structure. And that's what sells the program, man. Not going out and actually just recruiting.
And y'all are still training kids that you play against.
Yeah.
So if y'all are recruiting, why they ain't coming here?
Again, man, hey, if we really wanted to recruit, I mean, every kid in Hamilton County I train over here on Chatt Prep, man.
Exactly.
But we need some type of competition, man. I think that'd be the fun part too, me actually coaching against some kids that I train that's coming from other schools, man. So got a fun job, man. Not just as a trainer, but as a coach too.
Are y'all gonna still be 1A?
Yeah, man. Look, we're still 1A. I know a lot of people upset about that, man.
Well, I mean that's nothing y'all can control.
No, we can do about that.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, you gonna eat where you gonna eat.
You really got people who actually think they know how the classifications work. Like, that ain't fair. They in class 1A. I'm like, we didn't put ourselves in 1A. They do that off our enrollment, our classification. And we don't play against 1A schools. We play against 2A schools. We play against 3A schools. We play against 4A schools, 5A schools. We play against your Hamilton Heights. We always looking for competition. And that's the thing, man. I mean, I ain't gonna say unfortunate. I mean, if we can request to be moved up to 2A, I mean, now you're gonna have people in 2A complaining about you.
Yep.
Then we go to 3A. Now you got people in 3A. I mean, you're going to have those critics no matter where you go, man. So, it is what it is. We're going to continue to, stay the course and just continue to get better, man. And in the end, it'll all be worth it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I say it. You ain't got to say it, but I feel like there might be a two-peat coming on.
Yeah, man. That's the goal, man. So I tell people we started the thing, the initials called CTM, Complete the Mission. We're going CTM Part 2 this year. Continue the mission. That's what it's going to be. So we got some hungry young men who've been dedicated and been putting, work into the gym that they want to accelerate. They want to continue to accelerate, their game and also continue to accelerate the program. Because I tell them all the time, and I think most athletes, they think about this too, especially the young athletes. They think, all right, we won a state championship. We're good. Oh, I was a McDonald's All-American. I'm good. But I have the mentality where there's always room for, growth and improvement. I think you should never put a roof on top of your success because there's always a next step. So you just got to keep pushing forward, man, because there's always something new that you can continue to do. Just don't put a limit. I don't even think the sky's the limit, man. I think you can go beyond or above the sky, man. But I think people put a roof on top of success. But again, there's always going to be a next step. So you just got to keep pushing forward until God calls your time up and say, this is it, man.
Yeah.
So.
On an individual level for the players at Chatt Prep, y'all got any guys that are getting some looks?
Yes, we got a few guys. I know Derek Robinson's been getting some mid-major looks. Joel Bullis been getting some mid-major looks. My little nephew Cadence, who's a rising 9th grader. He ain't even, man, he was an 8th grader last year, man. He's starting to get some looks from some coaches as well too.
Little Chris Paul right there,
Chris
man.
Paul, yeah, man. So yeah, we're pretty much putting our guys in situations where they can be noticed, man. But we also
you go to the state tournament, man. You're gonna get some looks there.
They just got back from Memphis and competed against some schools out of Memphis and went 4-0. Again, that's been another goal of mine or another mission or vision I had. Like I want to change the narrative about how people think about Chattanooga basketball on the boys' side. Because when you talk about basketball in Tennessee, with anyone outside of Tennessee, the first cities they're going to mention, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville. Man, they'll put Clarksville before Chattanooga. And I'm like, what? So now it's just changing that narrative of how people, the perspective that they have on Chattanooga basketball. And I think it's definitely changed since, winning, that state championship. So, it's one of let it be known, man. Send a message. Send a message across not just Tennessee, but across the Southeast that, Chattanooga basketball, boys basketball side, it's here. So college coaches, come on and get your bids in, man. We got some young men that work hard. That's gonna be very valuable to you all basketball program. So yeah, we
winners too.
Yes, most definitely.
Been winning for a while.
The winning mentality, winning aspect. So yeah.
All right, let's switch over, man. Let's talk a little sneakers real quick. Jordan Brand, Nike.
Uh-oh.
When did you really start becoming obsessed with shoes?
Man, I've always been obsessed with shoes, man. Since elementary. Middle school, man, I've always been obsessed with just.
So Mom Dukes and Pops kept you fresh?
Man, it really wasn't even my Dukes and Pops. They was against like expensive pair of tennis shoes. I think it was our uncle that pretty much put that basketball shoe, the Jordan stuff, fashion. I think that's he did that. And friends that we used to hang around, used to wear Jordans. Angelo Keys, the white Keys, man. Shout out to him, man. I ain't gonna say we used to hate on him, dude. We used to want to be like him just because he had every pair of Jordan that came out, man. So like we gotta do something, man. We gotta try to keep up with this dude, Angelo Keys. Everybody know Angelo Keys. If they don't know who I'm talking about, something wrong with you. Not from Chattanooga if you don't know Dwight Angelo Keys. He's a DJ now. DJ Low, I guess that's what they call him now. But man, that dude used to have every pair of Jordan. And he influenced us to continue to get Jordans too, man. I was like, man, I know budget-wise, parents like, man, nah, boy, it's two of y'all, man. Well, I got family to feed. We got more important stuff than just to buy some dang Jordans. But yeah, we developed a shoe fetish in middle school, going into high school. And then it didn't make it no better that we played at Brainerd. And that's all we had, where it was Nikes and Jordans. And, Coach I spoiled us with several pairs of Jordan sneakers. And it just kind of went from there, man. And golly, I can't even. I've always had a shoe fetish. Then it went for us working in the shoe store, Foot Locker, Finish Line, Foot Action. So the shoe fetish kept going, man. I said, if I was gonna get my first job, it's gonna have to be in a shoe store. And once we got into the shoe store, it just took off from there, man.
The discount.
Yeah, the discount player, boy, look.
Man.
Hey, the discount was handed to 30%. Even at certain times, we get 50% off on a pair of Jordans.
Crazy.
Like, come on, man. I think me wearing a lot of Jordans wore off on, I'm gonna bring her name up. It wore off on Ryan too, because Ryan used to look up, not just me and my twin brother, but also, her Uncle Mark, because that's all we used to wear is Jordans, man. So we used to have these little friendly bets. Hey, if you scored 45 points, you can get these pair of Jordans. If you did this, you get this. Man, look, my closet, I had a closet full of Jordans, man. There was certain Jordans I did not want to get rid of. I maybe wore them once, twice. If I do this, I want those pair of Jordans. I was like, no, not down on her at all. I don't think you're going to. I did this like, man, damn, come over to the crib. So she pulling out sneakers. Every time she reached some type of achievement or accolade, she's coming to get a pair of Jordans. So she's coming to the gym at the workouts, getting a pair of Jordans. Or during workouts, we used to have this shooting competition where it was like a 2 minute and 30-second drill. Like if you beat this shooting record, you can get those Jordans. And she could not beat this particular number. And she finally did it.
What Jordans did you give her? Do you remember?
Man, it was my gold 11s, low tops.
Ooh.
Low top gold 11s. I had to get those up. I didn't want to give them to her, man, but I had to get those up. Man, she done came into the closet without me having to know. And I'm like, man, what happened to these Jordans? Oh, Ryan came and got them. So I'm on FaceTime. I'm telling her to get a particular pair of shoes and not to touch these shoes. Next thing you know, like, what happened to my bread fours? Oh, Ryan got them. She on the road back to Kentucky. FaceTime. Like, I ain't take it. All right, bet. But you see what she's doing right now. So now Ryan has a actual brand Jordan deal. I need them J's back, man. But, man, look, I don't want anything from her. She know that, man. I just want to see all of them shine and be successful. But she did take care of me, with a precious gift too, fam. Like it was almost like Foot Locker delivered a whole box of Jordans to me, one day, man. But she didn't have to do that, man. She knows that, but
that's what's up.
Yeah, when you give to people, man, when you help people out, man, they know how genuine heart is, man. I knew how genuine her heart was too, so that's why I accepted the gift. But yeah, a sneakerhead is not gonna pass up
Never.
Over 20 pairs of brand new shoes or brand new sneakers. So, yeah, man, shout out to Brian Howard, man. I appreciate
Dang.
Jordan good. So, man, it's just, I need a Jordan contract, man.
Facts.
I need it.
The first trainer to get a Jordan
I
contract.
need a Jordan contract,
Let's make it happen, man. What we got to do?
They gave one a lethal shooter. I've been rocking Jordan since I was a little swimmer.
Oh, they gave one. Lethal got a Jordan deal?
Yeah, Lethal got a Jordan deal.
Oh.
Yeah. Lethal shooter got a Jordan deal.
Dang. Yeah, we got.
Look, and shout out to N1 too, man. I gotta give a shout out to N1.
Man, hey, I swear I was just finna ask you that because when you was in school, because you're a little older than me, when I was in school, talked about this with Vic on the podcast. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have basketball trainers. We had N1 mixtapes.
Man, shout out to N1.
Hey, you want to learn how to do a crossover?
Watch an N1 mixtape.
Watch Volume 1, Rayford Austin, the GOAT, the street ball GOAT.
Man, Rayford Austin, Skip to my lose. Shout out to him, man. We used to study his films, Hot Sauce, AO. Man, N1 had some hoopers, man. That was like an entertaining basketball already. Like it was.
But some of them dudes could real deal hoop though.
But before they came out with like the mixtapes and stuff, me and my brother was like, because we used to go to Florida all the time. I didn't know what N1 was. I just remember like we was at a basketball camp and our cousin and some of his teammates had some N1 gear on. We didn't know what it was. And it was on their shorts or shirt, and the guy was like touching the ground with the ball out to the side. I was like, man, everybody rocking these shorts down here. Cuz where you get them shorts? Said, oh, it's these N1s. So we started rocking the N1. This is before any mixtape. I was like, all right, so we started wearing the clothes, we bringing it back home to Chattanooga. Collect, well, y'all, what's this? Y'all ain't wearing the Nike and Jordan no more? Nah, we got N1 on. Then they started coming out with the shoes. Like that. Then that's when they started the mixtapes.
Yeah.
And people used to call us the N1 twins, not just because of basketball moves, because we used to rock that gear all the time.
Man.
That's where it started at. It was N1 this. Like, y'all endorse N1, don't you? Like, that's all y'all wearing. What happened to the Jordans? Y'all the N. So that's where the N1 twin stuff started coming from. Then we started seeing mixtapes. I was like, oh, shoot.
That Volume 1 was crazy. Remember,
you
could get it, you had to, or it wasn't Volume 1. It was one of the volumes. You had to buy a pair of Air Ones at Foot Action.
Yeah.
And you got the tape.
Yeah, you got a tape. Got a little mixtape in it.
I think it was the Alamo tape. The tape, his whole little tape.
Man, look, those are the days, man. Like,
people don't know about that.
Look,
that was when you had to wait in line for shoes, all that.
Wait in line for shoes. You ain't had to wait in line for the man ones. Like people in Foot Action, when they used to be in Hamilton Place Mall, when they saw us come, oh, let me show you the new N1s we got. We used to, and I think Vince Carter, he was rocking the N1s when we did the dunk contest. They had it, man. Those
white red
dunk
ones?
contest. He had them red ones with, I think they was the Tachi mids or something. I remember the names all on, man. So, yeah, man.
I had a few pair, man. I had them, I think that was Ben Wallace's with the strap with all like the little holes in them.
Ben Wallace then they had the little slides. They started doing the N1 slides, man. And I don't know, the empire kind of fell down a little bit. I know they had some, financial, difficulties. Now I start seeing my N1 stuff, and nothing against Walmart. I start seeing the N1 stuff in Walmart. Like,
once it goes to Walmart, shout out to Shaq. It's over with.
God bless y'all, man. Took N1 to Walmart. Went from
N1 to Walmart.
Went from Foot Action to Walmart. God bless you. At least they're still selling though, man. Shout out to N1 though, man.
They're still doing open runs this summer. They started doing them again.
What up?
Not like the tour, but yeah, they just do like N1 open runs at like a park.
Oh yeah.
They'll have the guy out there with the DJ.
Okay.
Pick up teams. It's on Instagram. It's kind of
straight entertainment, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be living in those days to actually see the
professor, man. He was every young white kid's dream, man. I remember when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm out here trying to do all that.
So this white boy cold, man. Look, crazy story. Run and shoot.
Atlanta?
You ever been to run and shoot?
Yeah.
That's where we met Hot Sauce. I forget, it was me, my twin brother. I think Bone went there. I think Quail even went with us, man. Went to run and shoot. I'm talking about 24-hour basketball facilities. I'm talking about runs, nonstop, in and out. We used to take little breaks. But this is where I got my hesitation from. Other than, Jermaine Washington over at Brainerd, the hesitation where you get guys to jump all over the place and it look like you're double dribbling. I remember Hot Sauce was in the gym with one of his good friends, some bald-headed guy. I just remember he was missing his whole tops in the front. And I was like, man, bro, we going over there playing in one-on-one. And he kept hitting us with, and we jumping, we flying all over the place. We were like, hey, bro, man, you doubling. No, you can't do that. You can't touch the ball and dribble again. And so he told us his secret after he beat the brakes off all of us. Like, look, so you got to get in and bring your hand close to the ball, look at the rim, look like you're trying to shoot, and then just drop it. Man, he shouldn't have told us that because
What year was this?
This was, man, golly.
Were you still in high school?
We was going into high school. It's like 8th grade year going into 9th grade year. Maybe in 9th grade going into 10th grade year.
So this is before like and1 was
this
like
before,
really.
Yeah.
So you just ran into him.
We just ran into him. We didn't know who Hot Sauce was, but it was because I remember he wear this little do-rag and stuff, man.
Because that was like his little home.
Yep,
home
Atlanta,
gym or
that's
whatever.
where he's from. So that's where we learned like the little hesitation dribble. Man, it went from the hesitation dribble. So we on the sideline just practicing this move. So we actually started, again, that's what I do as a trainer now. We skill development, working on the move. Then you put yourself in a situation to see if it actually works. So we practicing the move. Then we started jumping into a little group of some little young guys who really didn't look like they knew how to play basketball. Like, I just want to try it just for the hell of it. So we got there. First move I got, dude went flying. I said, oh yeah, this is it right here. I got to take this. We going to take this back to Chat. Little do we know, we got Jermaine Washington at Brainerd coming down in games, hitting folk with hesitation. I'm like, damn, J-Dub, he must have ran into Hot Sauce too, but yeah, at the time we called it an up fake, and now the hesitation is like an up fake.
Yeah.
You look up, put your hand close to the ball, and just drop it, man. They go flying all over the place. But we brought that back. That was like our go-to move, man, because we really weren't great shooters. If people knew better to play defense, if they, KYP, know your personnel, if they knew who we really were. I used to love to slash to the basket. But people knew their personnel. I really wasn't that great of a shooter. But that's what I was trying to create, a straight line driving nigga. So I'm getting people up in the air and they're closing space and I'm attacking downhill, man. It was pretty dope, man. Shout out to Hot Sauce and shout out to Jermaine Washington, man, for the move, man. That's where we got it from, the hesitation, dog. So
and1, man. That brings back so many memories, bro. And then when they put it on ESPN, that was when like Professor was on there and they had to like earn their, make the team, all that. I mean, I used to come home from school every day. Put that junk on. We came on like 4 o'clock on ESPN.
Yeah, they had them series, the episodes, man.
Yep. They had Spider, him, Helicopter.
Helicopter.
Bone Collector was on there for a little bit.
Man, Bone Collector.
The
boy.
Pharmacist.
Bone
they had some hoopers, nice. Man. Yeah, he's still doing it.
Yeah, I still think he's still doing it.
He's still collecting some bones.
Yeah, Bone Collector. Real nice with it, man. But them dudes, man, shout out again to and1, man. They used to piss people off when used to piss people off in games.
All right, so as far as Jordans, what is your all-time favorite Jordan with the colorway?
All-time favorite Jordan. Of course, I'm gonna go with the 11s, man.
Colorway.
Concord.
Concord 11s.
Concord 11s. Yep, Concord. Concord and of course the Space Jams and the Columbias. Those are my top 3 11s. Got Concord, Space Jams, and then we go with the Concord, Space Jams, and
Columbias.
The Columbias.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we rocked that burner in the game, man.
Them white and baby blue.
I may put the Concord, not the Concord 11s, but the Columbia Blue 11s at the top. I'll put those at the top. We had those at the Brainerd Arts and Science game. Those joints had just came out.
You was hooping in them?
Typically back then we played on like Tuesday, Thursday. And we was playing Arts and Science. It's a weekday game. Nobody's gonna come to those games for real. We was playing Arts and Science, but word on the street was Brainerd gonna come out in some new uniforms. The Georgetown uniforms. Coach I just got us some brand new uniforms. And the Jordans came out. So it was almost like a fashion show that night, man. And you would think you would have came to a Brainerd basketball game on a Friday night, but it was like a Tuesday or Thursday, a weekday game, and it was packed. And people they just showed up for the game just to see us in the Columbia. They just wanted to see what the Jordans looked like. They also wanted to see us in those new uniforms. And it was crazy because we were out there tiptoeing like, man, I ain't trying to scuff these things up, man. Hey, I got people, we trying to play defense, trying to be cool and play. Again, it was Arts and Science, nothing against Arts and Science, man, but it was a team we was expected to beat by 30 or 40 points. The game was pretty close, from the start because we was worried about scuffing up our jaw. We was worried about scuffing. We were just worried about looking good that night, man. But, we ended up pulling away in that game in the fourth quarter, ended up beating them by, 25, 30. But it was a slow start only because of the shoes we had. Nobody wanted to scuff their Jordans up. Nobody, we were just out there as it's a fashion show, man. So, golly, so those are my favorite ones, man.
All right. If you could only hoop in one shoe for like the rest of your career, like training, you could only hoop in one shoe, what shoe would it be?
Ooh, it's outside of Jordan and Nike.
What you got for me?
I'm going to tell you this, man. Them AEs, they so comfortable. the traction on them is real. Oh man, the Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I just got a pair. I got that pair that came out Saturday.
Man, look,
I put them on. Woo! It's like a cloud.
Look, I've been down at Overtime Elite, and so they pretty much sponsor through and by Adidas. So I was having one workout with Somto, and I couldn't have it on any Nike gear because they're Adidas brand. So they went out to the back and got me a pair of the AEs, the black and the orange ones. I put those things on, man. It was almost like hooping in a pair of Yeezys, man. Those things so comfortable. So, man, by far, man.
I don't know what Adidas is doing to these soles.
Man, I think they put that boost in them, too.
It's that foam boost or something. Because the Trae Youngs are like that, too. Yeah. I had got a pair of Trae Youngs to hoop in. And I put them on. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah, and a few of the players up there, too, telling me, like, those Hardens are comfortable, too, man. They said they like the Hardens over the Anthony Edwards. I got a real flat and fat foot, man. So a shoe that may be comfortable for me may not be comfortable for somebody else. But I never heard anybody say that the Anthony Edwards were a trash shoe to hoop in. Man, the only thing wrong with the Anthony Edwards, once you get up and running down the court, you got to reach down and tie your shoe up.
Every 2 or 3 possessions. Yeah,
because of the laces. But overall, man, I hoop in that shoe any day, man. I wish they had that basketball shoe back when I was playing. But, yeah, I mean, technology, everything is evolving. So that's a dope shoe to play basketball in, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just got my first pair Saturday.
Yep.
Those low top ones that came out, and he's about to be dropping a whole bunch. The USA ones was dope he had on in the game yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Top 5 NBA players all time.
Top five NBA players of all time. Want me to rank them, or just give you 5?
You can do 1 through 5, or you can just go 5.
1 through 5.
It's up to you. Not like position wise, like.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna do 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Don't add me on this. Number 1, LeBron James. The GOAT, fam. I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, but I got LeBron James number 1. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Number 3, Kobe Bryant. 4, got a toss up between Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan. But I'm gonna put the big fundamental at 4. And then Shaquille O'Neal rounded out at 5. So we got Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Shaquille O'Neal. That's my top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yes, sir.
There's a comment like from other episodes we've done. 3 of those are in all of them.
Are they?
Yeah, for sure. And then Tim Duncan's been in a few, which he slept on. So I like that you put him in there. Yeah, and your top 5 is only 1 player different than my top 5.
Oh, for real? Who you got in there?
I got, instead of Duncan, the chef.
Curry, hey man, look, Curry around
with Shaq, same, but just swap them out.
Shooting there,
and he's 5. He would be 5 in my top 5. Shaq's 4, then he'd be 5. But my number 1 is Jordan, though.
Steph, he changed the game, though, man.
Yeah.
So, I got him in my top 8.
Yeah,
Steph
definitely, Because he, like you said.
Yeah, he changed the
game. But no, that's a solid top 5. I can't argue with it at all.
Yeah, he's top 8.
Somebody's gonna say something though.
I know you're always gonna have, man. That's just like barbershop talk, man. That's always.
That's the point. That's the point of this segment.
Yeah, that's always talk to get your ratings up, man, for sports, interviews, podcasts.
Not the ratings.
Hey, talks like that get your ratings up, man. Because you're always gonna have people to argue. I could post today about this. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time? And I could
1,000 comments.
Man, 1,000 comments, 1,000 views off top in an hour. You're gonna get that. But yeah, man, that's my top 5 though, and I'm sticking by it.
That's solid, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's solid.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's close it out over here real quick.
I got the T-shirt.
Yeah, your official Hoop Truck T-shirt, man.
God bless you.
Got you a medium, man, to show off them guns.
Yes, sir. What you got, man? What you got, a large?
Yeah, this is a large. But my arms are small.
I was gonna say, man, you're gonna have to give me a T-shirt, man. I know you're getting big and stuff like that, man, but so you can't forget about the little people.
Oh, no.
This is dope right here. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. So, last question. All right, who would you want to hear on the podcast, but you got to help us get them on the podcast?
One person?
Yeah, one person.
I'm gonna try to give him a good Ryan.
That would be great.
Can't get a hold of Ryan. Let's go get my twin brother, man.
That's already scheduled. You can't say him.
Okay. Go,
That's cheating.
Yeah, it is cheating, but let's go grab let's bring Ryan on.
All right. That'll be dope, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. I love what you're doing, man, with the training and stuff. Like, it's next level stuff, man. It ain't just get in here and try to get some money, man. And you probably ain't even charging enough, and that's what these folks don't realize.
It's a people's business, man.
Yeah.
People's business. So it's what I love to do.
Yeah.
Happiness.
Your time's coming, though.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
For sure,
that,
man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bro.
So.